Welcome back. Today is day 15 and we are on our second day of panicure worming because it's done every 2 weeks and it's done for 3 days in a row when we worm every 2 weeks. So we're on day number 2 of panicure worming and our DNA kits have arrived from Embark. So we are going to swab the puppy first and then we're going to do the worming and then we're going to swap them for the next puppy because the puppies have to be separated from all of their siblings, litter mates and their mother for 30 minutes before we do the DNA swab to make sure that we're not getting anyone else's DNA. We're only getting the DNA of the puppy that we've swapped. So we have the swab, it comes in a little envelope. And we have Miss Orange. Can you see? Miss Orange, everyone's got their eyes open now. Everyone's exploring the world in the transitional phase. So we're going to open it up at the top. Take it out. Keep your fingers away from the sponge. And then we're going to just roll this sponge around inside this puppy's mouth, in the inner cheeks. Let her chomp on it a bit because she hasn't really got much in the way of teeth. Just little nubs at the moment. And we're going to spin it against the cheek wall there. Get in a few skin cells if we can and some saliva. There we are. Wow, delicious, huh? Delicious funny sponge. I don't think they're going to like this very much. Just do it a little bit longer. Mm. I think we've got enough saliva on there. Oh. Bit more. I know. There we go. And once we've got enough, we just unscrew the top, put it in, tip it around so it absorbs the solution that preserves it while we send it back. And we just make a note that is Miss Orange's swab. Pop it in the envelope. It's got a little plastic bag to pop it in first. Pop it in the bag. Then we pop it in the envelope. And it goes all the way back to Cornell University in America where Embark Lab lives for their research unit. We'll get the results in maybe, I don't know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, hopefully, before these puppies are all ready for their new homes so that it can help us make a decision about whether or not any of these little ladies are staying here with us at MiyaxDogs. Last job before we put Miss Orange back to bed with her siblings is she needs 2 syringe graduations of panicure worming paste because she needs to have this on her day 2 of her 2-week course. So we'll wait for her once again. Will she open up? Will she? No, she says, I'm done with opening my mouth. Okay. We'll just push it down the back. There we go. And that's 1 puppy DNA swabbed and 1 puppy wormed. So it's time for the next puppy. So now we have Mr. Black. Again, we're going to take his swab. Hopefully he'll let me put this in his mouth. There we are. Oh, big yawn. Let's get some of those cheek cells. Wow, we've got a yawn. It's not an easy job trying to DNA test a 2-week-old puppy, but here we are. I'll let him chomp on it a little bit. It does help, I think, especially when they're this young, because it's mostly just gums. There are some tiny, tiny teeth at the front, but nothing at the back, really. Oh, I know, mister. How annoying, huh? How annoying. Try and keep George out of this equation. Okay. Before George gets involved. George is the cat, by the way. Can't do anything without the cat around here. Right. Mr. Black's on an escape mission. Put this in his little bag. And then we're going to worm him as well. Because again, he's on day 2 of his 2-week worming schedule. Put that in our little envelope. Don't worry, we know who everyone is because I wrote the colours next to the numbers that they've been assigned for the Embark swabs. So we want 2 graduations of wormer. Oh, I know, mister, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do you want to have a look at Mr. Black while I've got him? I'm not sure if that's a close-up or not, but... Oh, good boy. Here we are. There we go. Oh, I know. Absolutely gross, huh? Oh. Good boy. Good boy. Mwah. So, another 30 minutes and we'll wait for the next puppy. Okay, we're here with Miss Pink. See if you can see Miss Pink. We've got her Embark swab ready. We'll get her swabbed and then we'll get her wormed. They don't like this. There we are. Good girl. Good girl. That's it. You give that a good chomp. Good girl. Now obviously you don't want to let a larger dog chomp on the swab. Ooh. But because these guys don't have any back teeth yet, don't have any molars, we can let them gum down on it a little bit just to increase the amount of saliva in their mouth. I'm going to roll it around a little bit in the cheek area. And we do these DNA tests because they A, give us confirmation of ancestry, B, we can match them up with their parents, C, they give us a big health report on the puppies so we can tell what genetic conditions they may be predisposed to, and finally it gives us the colour traits so we can tell whether they are agouti grey or sable grey or tam point or carrying dilution. None of these could be carrying liver, but that test is also available. So it's a good thing for a breeder of dogs to be able to swab their puppies and look at their puppies not only physically and temperamentally, but also look at their DNA and see how useful that DNA is to continue in a breeding program. So it's a very, very useful tool. I'm not sure how wet that is, puppy. Come on. See if we can get that a little bit wetter. You kind of want the sponge to look a bit slobbery if you can. That's better. Right. Now then, let's get this puppy's wormer done. So again, they're all on day 2 of the Panacure worming course. And because they're all weighing over 1 kilo, between 1 and 2 kilos, they have to have 2 syringe graduations. I'm sorry, Miss Pink. Oh, there we go, sweetheart. Oh, what do you reckon? She says, I didn't like it last night and I don't like it tonight. That's okay, baby. 1 more day and you don't have to have it again for 2 weeks. Okay, we have to wait another 30 minutes now, which obviously you won't have to. It'll be a few seconds for you, but we have to wait another 30 minutes for the next puppy. Now we have Mr. Grey. Oh, big yawn, Mr. Grey. We're going to do his swab. Mr. Grey is one of our 2 boys, and we think so far the sort of more placid, I think, of the 2 boys. Obviously only 15 days old, so a lot could change. Ooh, I know, it's disgusting. Why are you shoving this thing in my mouth, human? Of all the things. What is this? It's not a nipple. No milk comes out of it. So we're just going to roll that around in the cheek. Oh, oh, oh. Good boy. But the fact that he's chewing means that there'll be plenty of saliva developing at the back of his cheeks here. So I'm not pushing it to the back of his throat. We're pushing it to the side, into the cheek area. There we are. And then when we're in there, we're twisting around. Good boy. Good boy. Now then. I think that's been a good minute or so of that. So we just untwist it with the green cap, put it in the solution. There we are, another one ready, and time for day 2 of his 2-week puppy wormer. Again, everyone's having 2 syringe graduations because everybody is between 1 and 2 kilos. Some of us closer to 2 kilos now than others. The boys are bigger than the girls. Both boys are quite large. And not enjoying the taste of the wormer. Well done, Mr. Grey. Okay, another 30 minutes and we'll be back with the next one. Back with the gorgeous Miss Green. And we're going to do her embark. And we're going to give her her wormer. We also have Miss Blue wandering around, but she's not been anywhere near Miss Green. We're keeping them all separate for 30 minutes before we do these swabs to make sure that we're not getting any of the other puppy's DNA. We're only getting the puppy that we're swabbing. The only thing I worry about is that I'm sure you've probably noticed that George the cat is wandering around in the background. So if any of them come back as part Oriental cat, then we'll know where that came from. Miss Blue's making a bit of noise on Andy's lap, who's filming for us today. This is Miss Green, by the way, chomping away on this swab quite nicely. Miss Green's one of the larger females at the moment, but we're about to all start getting our head in the dinner bowl. We're going to try some food either later today or tomorrow. We'll try and get that on camera for you, because everyone is starting to get their tiny little front teeth, and it's definitely looking like everyone's ready to start sampling a little bit of meat slurry. She's twisting her head around, making this as tricky as possible. Come on. Let's try the other side. Here we go. Oh, very good, thank you. That was a nice little yawn. That little paddling motion she's making with her front foot is what she would do if she was feeding from mum. I'm not sure they're really unsure about what this thing in their mouth is. Has it been 30 seconds? I reckon it has. Okay. There we go. I think that one's well and truly chomped on. Got plenty of saliva on there for Miss Green. Right. 2 syringe graduations. Day 2 of a 3-day course, which is done every 2 weeks. There we are. What do you think of that, Miss Green? Not a lot. Oh, God. Is it disgusting? I suspect it probably is. Right then. Next puppy. A 30-minute wait for us, a few seconds for you. Right, we have Miss Blue. I'll just show her to you quickly. I'm running out of light, unfortunately. She's been asleep now for a little while on Andy's lap, so she's probably not going to appreciate this. Not that any of them do, I don't think. Oh, big yawn, baby. I know. Clever girl. Get in those cheeks. And on the other side. Yeah. Oh, back to this side, huh? Come on, a bit more chomping. A bit more gumming. Okay. Have we done 30 seconds or more? maybe more. Oh, sorry, puppy. Okay. I think that'll do. Yes, that's pretty slobbered up. So that's Miss Blue done. Let's do her second dose of her 2-week wormer, which is a 3-day course. So they had one last night, they'll have one tonight, one tomorrow night, 2 syringe graduations, because they're between 1 and 2 kilos, closer to 2 kilos now. And that will soon start to shoot up, because we're about to try weaning. Oh, they all lick their lips and shake their heads, because they're not entirely convinced about all of this. Right, on to the last one. Miss Purple's been with Andy for a while, so we've kept them all separated, and she's going to be the last one. Okay, the last puppy to be swabbed and wormed or dewormed today is going to be Miss Purple. A little close-up of Miss Purple. He's getting further away. There we are. Right, time for her swab, her genetic test swab. Right, come on. Oh, already complaining. Of course you are. Someone said in the comment sections on our socials that Miss Purple might be one of the sassy ones, and that often the puppies that we have with a purple collar are a bit sassy. And now I come to think about it, it could be right. There could be some truth behind that. subliminal collar colours. Hello, little girl. Good girl. This one reminds me very much of a previous Miss Red and a previous Miss Yellow that Ash and Faye produced in 2023. Very similar colouring. They were very beautiful dark grey girls, but super wolf-like as they grew up. They're now just over 2 years old and doing very well. Yes. Good chew on that, she says. I'm having a good chew on this. Good. Don't think we'll get any Oriental cat DNA in this one. Just make sure I've got in both cheeks. Ooh, ooh. There we are. Oh, I know. Feels strange. Feels strange. Good girl. I think that's plenty. You've chomped well on that. Now then. That's the last one. So it has to go in its little plastic wallet. And then sealed into here. And then into its little prepaid postage envelope. Seal it in. And these will all be shipped back to California. Can take a little while in shipping, unfortunately, but it's definitely worth doing. And the last one, we're nearly down to the end of the syringe, so always difficult at the end. 2 syringe graduations. Are you ready? Remember this? Day 2? Remember it last night? You didn't like it then either. There we are. That is everybody DNA swabbed and had number 2 of their 3-day course of Panacure worming paste. We'll do this once more tomorrow night, and then they won't have to be done again until they're 4 weeks old. And the next thing that we're going to do with these little guys is try their first meal, which is going to be a mixture of red muscle meat, beef, and goat's milk into a slurry. And we're going to see if they like it. I think they're ready. This is day 15, which is quite early, but I think they're ready to have a sniff and a slurp and see what they think. They're obviously still with Mummy most of the time. Mum's spending a little bit of time away from them. Not much, I have to say. She goes outside in the garden. They've been out with her as well. Oh, that's so cute. But she isn't spending a lot of time away from them yet, so that doesn't signify that they're quite ready to be on proper meals. But I think they're ready to have a little taste and see what they think. So we're going to try giving them their first meal. And we'll try and catch it on film for you. Thanks for watching. Try and like and subscribe for us. It is free, and we will see you in the next one.